Hey guys, welcome to Club Cal Online. Coach Seth, got Coach Grace with me today. We're going to take you guys through a full body stretch class. All you need today is just a mat. So I'm going to have you guys stand on the mat to get started. We're going to do some slow burpees. You can watch Grace do the first one. She's just going to bring her hands to the floor, step back. She's going to do a push-up, as much of a push-up as she can do. Then she's going to bring her feet back in. She's going to stand up and just do a back bend. And then she's going to keep going. You guys can join at home. 3, 2, 1, and begin. I'm going to do this for 1 minute. Don't get too worried if you guys don't have a perfect push-up. You can drop to the knees if you need to, or you can do a partial push-up. We're just trying to get the upper body warmed up. Nice, Grace. You guys can freestyle a little bit when you get to the top. You can do a little bit side to side, little rotation, as well as that, pulling the arms back. Just keep going at your own pace. 30 seconds left. Nice, Grace. Down and up. Grace is switching to a knee push-up. That works. One more rep. And 3, 2, 1, and release. So we're going to do a total body stretch. We're going to start with the lower body, move to the upper, and then do some spine stuff at the end. So we're going to start with a pike stretch, standing. So you're going to bring your feet together just like Grace is doing here, and we're just going to fold forward and try to touch our head to our feet in a perfect world. 3, 2, 1, and hold. So we're doing this first one standing. The second round, we can do this seated, or you could go to seated right now if this is too easy for you. Nice, Grace. And we're going to do something where we take some little pulses. So I want you guys to just gently pull yourself a little deeper and then relax. It's not a lot. It's not like an active mobility exercise. We're just kind of taking little pulses and then we're going to hold it. So take about 10 on your own and then just relax in that position again. We're keeping the legs as straight as we can get them, but if you need to take a little bit of a knee bend, if it feels a little better to do that, that's okay. Might get a little lower. You might feel a little better stretch in your hamstrings. 3, 2, 1, and release. I'm going to have Grace turn here. She's going to bring her legs into a straddle, and we're going to do a standing pancake. So with the legs at about 90 degrees from each other, you're just going to lean down. Same thing we did with the pike, just relax. Take about 10 little pulses on your own, where you just get a little deeper. Again, not super active. Nice, Grace. If you're somebody that has a really, really good pancake and your head is touching the floor and you just don't feel much of anything, you can go ahead and do a seated version of this. We'll do that on our second round. How you doing?
Feels good.
Cool. Same idea as the pike, guys. We are aspiring for locked legs, but if you need to bend your knees a bit, that's okay. Three, 2, 1. We're going to stand it up, and now we're going to go into your best front split on one side. So start by coming into a low kneeling position. Nice. A lot of us might just stay right here. This might be your best front split. If you can, if you feel like you can go a little deeper, you can straighten your front leg, reach it out in front of you. Nice, guys. And we're just trying to hold this position. If you have something to put your hands on and you're pretty high, you can do that. You can put your hands on the floor like Grace is doing here. Or again, like I said, you might just be in this low lunge position with your front knee bent. That might be where you need to be. How you doing?
Good.
Cool. Okay. Now we haven't had much of a warm-up today. Maybe you guys did a workout before this or something else. So maybe you can go a little deeper, but Grace needs to warm up as we're going through this series. So meet us where you're at. 3, 2, 1, switch your feet. See if you can equal what you did on the other side. 3, 2, 1, and begin, or beat it. That looks lower on this side.
Good side.
So especially if you're cold, guys, don't push it too hard. Stay conservative. We're going to do all of this one more time, and so you'll be able to go a little deeper on the second round. Nice, Grace. I forgot to do it on the other side, guys, but if you want to, go ahead and take about 10 pulses and relax into it. That feels really good for me when I'm cold, especially as I'm trying to warm up. It just gets a little dynamic movement in there. 3, 2, 1, and release. Cool. We're going to go back to the pike. This time we're going to show a seated version, but you guys can still do a standing version. We're going to go through those 4 movements again. So we're in our seated version. Grace is going to do about 10 pulses, and then she's going to sink into it. Nice, Grace. Today is all about just passive. So Grace might be pulling herself a little bit more. If she is, that's bonus. You guys can just relax, breathe. When you breathe out, you just try to sink a little deeper into it. It's all about just trying to get your tissues to relax. It's a good pike. 3, 2, 1. You want to turn that way? Now we're going to go into a pancake. Option to do it seated or stay standing like we did in the first round. If you have a little tighter pancake like I do, you may want to do this standing or put a yoga block or something underneath your glutes. We're in this pancake position where her legs are about 90 degrees from each other. She's just leaning forward. Going to take 10 pulses. 3, 2, 1, and go. 10 pulses again. They can be as active as you want to make them, and then just relax. Nice, Grace. In a perfect world, we would have a flat back in our pancake, but that's again just something that you can aspire to. If you're able to do this with a flat back, fantastic, please do. If you're not, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. In this position, we're also aspiring toward pointed toes and knees straight as well. 3, 2, 1. We're going back to that front split position. By the way, guys, we're spending about 45 seconds in every movement. You want to show the knee bent version on this one?
Like this?
Yep. All right, guys. 3, 2, 1. Take about 10 pulses. Grace is showing a knee bent version on this one. You're still going to get a big stretch in the front of the rear leg. Yep, and if your knee's bent, you can actually bring your chest up, and then we're pushing our hips forward. 10 pulses and hanging out. Another thing to aspire to here is a square pelvis when we're in our front split. And so if you were to take your hands and put them right on the side of your hips, you're just trying to make sure that they're directly in line and not rotated. But it's not the end of the world if you have a little rotation. 3, 2, 1, and switching. At least for today. So Grace is showing that bent knee version again. Go ahead, take your 10 pulses at home and sink into it. How's that feel compared to the straight leg version?
It's hamstring out of it.
The front hamstring, yep.
Yeah. It's just different.
So keep relaxing, guys. Remember, breathe and sink into it. And 3, 2, 1, and release that. We're gonna move to our upper body. I'm gonna have Grace sit with her legs out in front of her. She's gonna bring her arms back. What I want you guys to try to do is squeeze your shoulder blades together behind your back. You're gonna stretch the front of your chest, front of your shoulders, and then we're gonna scoot the butt forward until we feel a stretch. Again, we're gonna hang out 45 seconds. You guys can begin. This one's a little bit tougher to do pulses into, but you can kind of pull back a little, push into it just a tad, or you can pull the shoulders a little bit forward and then pull them back about 10 times and then just sink into it. So we're following that same pattern. How are those shoulders feeling?
It's intense. But you're okay.
Good. So you guys are in charge of the intensity. The farther forward your hips go, the more of a stretch you're going to feel. Also, the closer your hands get to each other. 3, 2, 1, and release. We're going to do a puppy stretch. Grace has a bit of an injury in her shoulder, so she's going to do a very light version of it, and we'll kind of chat about that and how to manage it. So puppy stretch is hips right over the knees, arms straight out overhead. We're trying to minimize spine movement, so try not to arch, and just take very gentle pulses, armpits down toward the floor, and then you can hold. Grace is going to just manage her depth to the point where she feels no pain. And I want you guys to do the same at home. For any of these stretches, if there's pain, joint pain, you want to avoid, come out of the stretch as much as you need to. How you doing?
It's okay. It's gotta.
Can you just do it up higher?
What do you mean?
Just don't go as low.
Yeah, but then I don't feel stretched. But
Yep.
I can actually
Turn it.
rotate it
Cool.
out and it's okay.
So just like before, guys, 10 light pulses and sink into it. And 3, 2, 1. We're going to go back to that shoulder extension stretch. One more time. Maybe we get a little deeper this time. Hands back, finding those 10 pulses, moving the shoulders forward and back. 3, 2, 1, and hold. Nice, Grace. So you guys are just hanging out at home, again, finding a light stretch. Doesn't have to be super intense, and we're just trying to breathe into it. 10 seconds left. Three, 2, 1. And we're going to flip it over back to that puppy stretch. Three, 2, 1, and begin. 10 light pulses and hold. If there's a stretch and you just can't quite find a way to make it feel good, you can just skip it or do another stretch during that time. Nice belly breaths, and relax every time you breathe out. And 3, 2, 1, and release. Next up, we're going to do a little more shoulder stuff, but now with it in a rotated position. So we're going to do some cactus up position, and we're going to do a cactus down position. So I'm going to have Grace lay on her stomach with her right arm up. We'll start with the cactus up. She's trying to keep a 90-degree angle in her elbow, and she's trying to get her shoulder to the floor as she just gently rolls open onto it. It's like a doorway stretch if you just pull it back. You guys can join at home. 3, 2, 1, and go. This one we're not going to spend as much time on. We're going to go about 30 seconds per stretch. How's that feel?
Awesome.
Nice.
I love this one.
This other arm is just there pushing into the floor, slightly opening, and this back leg can fold out in order to create a little more rotation into the shoulder. 3, 2, 1. She's going to come out of that stretch, and now we're going to switch. Same arm, we're going to send the hand down toward the feet. You want to still pull your elbow up high so we have that 90-degree angle in the elbow. And now same body position, we're just gently rolling toward that arm. If you don't feel any stretch at all, it's probably you need to bring your elbow a little higher. Be gentle. You're completely in control of this stretch. That other hand can remain on the floor, or you can even reach back and try to interlace your hands together. And 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to switch to the other arm. We're going to do that cactus up position first. Finding the 90 degrees, gently rolling over. And hold. Feel free to bring some gentle pulses into this one again. Forgot to do it on the other side. But we're doing that on every stretch. You can do optional, about 10 pulses, and then hold. Or you can just hold the stretch. 3, 2, 1, and we're going to rotate that arm downward. Nice. Okay, cool. And she's interlacing her hands on this one. Optional pulses and hold. Almost there. 3, 2, 1, and release. We're just going to do those cactus movements once today. We're going to move right onto our spine. So I'm going to have Grace lay on her side. She's going to bring her knees up into a 90-degree angle, her quads to her torso. And now she's going to put both of her arms out in front of her, alligator style. She's going to keep both of her knees glued together and glued to the floor, and this bottom arm glued to the floor. She's going to open up this arm, and then she's going to come back. So there's no pulsing on this one. This one we're just going to do reps. You guys can go ahead and join at home. We got 45 seconds. Nice, Grace. We're trying to get this upper shoulder, we're trying to get it to the floor as we reach. She's also following her hand with her eyes because we're trying to rotate. We've moved on to spine stuff now. She's trying to move the whole spine, neck, thoracic, lower back. If you're not feeling a lot of a stretch, you probably first check to make sure your knees are stuck together and this upper leg isn't moving back. Nice, Grace. 3, 2, 1. And we're going to switch to the other side. I'm going to have Grace rotate 180. Same idea, guys. Glue the knees together, glue them to the floor, and let's rotate. This is one of my favorite spinal movements. Should feel pretty good. Grace is nodding her head. It's one of her favorite too. Nice, Grace. If it's feeling really good for you guys to be out in that position, you can spend a few seconds there. You can hold it. And 3, 2, 1, and release. So we did some spinal rotation. Now we're going to do some lateral flexion, some side to side. So I'm going to have Grace go back into that pancake that we were in earlier. And if you guys have a really good middle split like Grace, I want you to bring your legs a little closer to each other. So we're closer to 90 and not outside that. She's going to take her left arm and stick it underneath her right knee. And she's going to reach her right arm over her head, reaching for her toe. We're going to hold this one as a stretch, and we're stretching the side body here. Now she's pinned her elbow inside her left leg. And also, like I said, you can reach and you can grab the other leg. Nice, Grace. How's it feel?
Good.
This one, we're going to do those pulses again. Take about 10 pulses and hold. You'll also notice she's trying to rotate her torso. She's trying to get her sternum facing the ceiling, and that's going to make it a nice side bend. Stretching her obliques, her side abs. 3, 2, 1. Switching to the other side. Same idea. Pinning the elbow, reaching the hand underneath the other leg. About 10 pulses, and then we're going to hold. Now, Grace makes this look really easy. For a lot of us, we're not going to be near our foot. That's okay. You're just reaching, trying to get there. Nice, guys. Almost there. 10 more seconds. Remember, we're still trying to rotate our torso. You can even use that elbow in the lower leg just a little bit to rotate. 3, 2, 1. We're returning back to what we just did, side lying thoracic rotation. This time, guys, I'm going to have you hold it. So knees are down. She's going to rotate her arm open, and we're just going to hold this position. Try to keep these knees glued down. And as you breathe, you're going to feel your arm lift. And as you breathe out, the arm's going to come closer to the floor. How's that feel?
Good.
Relaxing. You guys will feel some shoulder stuff, some spine stuff, maybe a little bit of glute, hip stuff. Just breathe into it. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and switch sides. Same thing on the other side. Let's set it up. Glue those knees together. Open up and hold. Breathe. We breathe in, it lifts a little. We breathe out, it sinks down. You relax. Is one side easier than the other?
This one's definitely easier.
Shoulder drops easier. You guys might find a difference from one side to the other. And 3, 2, 1, release. Back to our pancake. We're going to do that side bend one more time. Finding that 90 degrees in the legs. Pointing the toes, locking the legs if you can. About 10 pulses and hold. Nice, Grace. You make this look way too easy.
Doing it for a long time. Many years.
Almost there, guys. Breathing, relaxing, sinking into it. 3, 2, 1, other side. Let's get those 10 pulses in. 3, 2, 1, and begin. Is one side easier than the other for you?
This is my good side.
Yeah. I always demo and accidentally demo on my good side. Keep breathing, guys. Keep rotating that torso. Just sinking into it, reaching that arm overhead. 10 seconds left. And 3, 2, 1, release that. We have just one more stretch to do. I'm going to have Grace lay on her back. Grace is going to go into a shoulder bridge. If you guys at home are feeling really good, if you have a really good back bridge with your hands on the floor, you guys can go ahead and do that. We're going to spend 45 seconds here. So if you do go into a back bridge, you may not hold it the whole time. You might come down, go back up, or maybe do the version Grace is going to do here. So her hands are by her side. She's going to push into her heels. She's going to pivot up onto her shoulders. She's kind of pulling her arms beneath her. And now she's going to try to create an arch in her upper mid back. Like she's trying to pull her sternum that way. You guys can join at home. Again, this is a shoulder bridge. You guys can do a full bridge with your hands on the floor if you feel up for it. Nice, Grace. We're squeezing our glutes. You can push through your feet. The more you push through your feet, the more you'll be able to pull your sternum up, again, this way. The idea here is to arch through here, through our upper mid back. We've got 15 seconds left. If you guys are in a full bridge, again, you can come down, join Grace, or pop back up into your full bridge. Almost there. 3, 2, 1, and release. How'd that go?
Good.
Feels good?
Yeah.
I'm going to have her flip over into hands and knees. We're just going to do cat-cow really quick. Just going to move the spine around a little bit freely. You guys can go a little side to side. You can do some circles, freestyle a bit. Got about 10 seconds left. And 3, 2, 1, and release. Nice, guys. We're going to stop it right there. If you guys are still feeling good, go ahead and get another rep of full bridge in or shoulder bridge. But thanks so much for taking class. We'll see you guys next time.